There is a space between waking and dreaming, a fleeting instant where identity collapses. You stir from sleep, weightless, unshaped, nameless. There is no memory, no story, no sense of self, only presence. But like a tide reclaiming the shore, your mind rushes in, assembling the pieces. I am me. I have a name, a history, a role in this world. And just like that, the veil returns, draped over something vast and formless beneath. But what if you could stretch that moment? What if you could linger in the threshold where the self has not yet reassembled? Who are you when you are not a name, not a body, not a collection of past experiences? We speak of identity as though it is a constant, yet it is fragile, a construct that flickers in and out of existence with the rise and fall of thought. The self is a story we tell ourselves, a tale we inherit and repeat until it becomes unquestioned truth. But is it truth, or is it simply a well-worn illusion? There are moments when this illusion shatters. Near-death experiences rip away the familiar boundaries of identity, revealing something vaster than the mind can comprehend. Deep meditation dissolves the walls between self and other, revealing consciousness as an endless ocean rather than an isolated drop. Psychedelics unveil the great masquerade, pulling the rug from beneath our constructed reality and exposing the raw presence that has always been. There are those who have stumbled into this realization through silence, through loss, through sheer, aching awe. These moments are not learned, they are remembered, as if something ancient and infinite is whispering, "You were never just this. You have never been separate." The mind, of course, resists. It has spent a lifetime defining, categorizing, and clinging to its sense of identity. It fears its own dissolution, mistaking it for death. But ego death is not annihilation. It is awakening. It is stepping beyond the confining walls of the self and realizing they were never real to begin with. When you strip away the thoughts, the name, the past, what remains is not nothingness. What remains is what has always been there, a presence beyond description, a consciousness that is not yours, not mine, but ours. A seamless unfolding of awareness, eternal and unbound. But knowing this intellectually is not enough. The mind will nod in agreement, then resume its grasping. It will turn truth into concept, into philosophy, into something to be debated rather than felt. And yet, there is a way to move beyond thought, to be this truth rather than chase it, to feel the dissolving of the self, not as loss, but as liberation. This is not something one can read their way into. It must be lived. Look into the sky on a night without light pollution. Stare long enough and you will see beyond stars. You will see into immensity itself. In that vastness, something stirs within you, something that knows it is not separate from what it beholds. Stand before the ocean, watch the waves rise and fall, and know that you too are a wave, rising for a time before merging once more with the deep. Sit in absolute silence, listen, not with your ears but with your being, and you may hear it, the hum beneath existence, the stillness that holds all things. It has no name, yet it is the foundation of all that is. The mistake is believing enlightenment is something to attain, a destination beyond reach, something separate from what you already are. The truth is closer than breath, already present in this very moment. It is in the stillness of a deep inhale, in the effortless way your heart beats without command, in the way sunlight filters through leaves, casting fleeting patterns of gold. It is not something to seek, it is something to notice, something that has always been whispering beneath the noise of thought, waiting to be seen. If you sit still enough, let the mind quiet, and simply be, you will feel it. The self is a current, not a constant, a flowing river, not a fixed point. You are never a single moment in time. You are the unfolding of eternity itself, a river that flows endlessly, carving new paths, yet always returning to the source. You are the breath of the cosmos expanding and contracting, the rhythm of creation itself pulsing through every atom of your being. You will forget this truth, as you always have. The ego will return, whispering stories, reclaiming its throne. But you have glimpsed beyond the veil now, and even as you step back into identity, you will carry the knowing, not as a thought, but as a shift in your very being. It will move through you in the way you listen, in the way you walk through the world with a quiet certainty, in the way you meet the gaze of another and see not separation, but recognition. This knowing does not fade, it reshapes the way you exist. It is in the way you move, the rhythm of your breath, the stillness in your gaze when you look at another and recognize not a stranger, but another reflection of the same infinite awareness, an unspoken connection woven through all things. No, you are not the story you tell yourself. You are not the mask you wear. You are the presence beneath it all, vast and unshaken, like the deep silence before the dawn, like the endless sky holding all things yet untouched by them. You are the watcher at the edge of time, the quiet force that remains when everything else is stripped away. Waiting, watching, knowing. And when the final moment comes, when the body falls away and the last thought dissolves, you will not be lost. You will linger in the space between, weightless and whole, as if time itself has paused to welcome you home. You will return, not as something new, but as something you have always been. The wave will fall as it always has, and the ocean will remain as it always will. This is the rhythm of existence, an endless cycle of becoming and returning, of rising and dissolving, of self and stillness intertwined. And in that stillness, you will not vanish. You will unfold, stretching beyond the borders of memory and form. The weight of identity will melt away, not as loss, but as liberation. The pulse of existence will move through you, and in that expansion you will know, not as thought, but as undeniable presence, that you were never separate from the whole. You will not fade. You will become vast, boundless, and eternal. The name, the face, the fleeting memories will dissolve like mist at dawn, yet the essence of you will remain, woven into the silent fabric of eternity. You will not be forgotten, for nothing true is ever lost. You will ripple through existence like waves upon an unseen shore, shaping and being shaped in the endless tide of being, carried effortlessly by the unseen forces that weave through all things. Like the breath of the wind moving through a vast forest, your essence will stir the fabric of reality, leaving echoes that linger long after the sound has faded. Every movement, every thought, every moment will ripple outward, touching places you may never see, influencing destinies you will never know. And as the tide draws you home, as the vastness welcomes you back, there will be no resistance, only surrender. In that final stillness, you will feel the echoes of every moment, not as separate memories, but as a single, unbroken current of being. The illusions of time and distance will unravel, revealing that you were never moving toward home. You were home all along, and in that knowing, certainty will arise within you. You were never just a wave, you were always the ocean, and you will remember. Thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.